Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD bodybuilder, back with another video. Today I'm going to be giving you a full hypertrophy program based on Arnold split. This is one of my all-time favorite splits, and I think it's actually superior to push-pull legs in a few ways. The split is based off a 6 days per week training program where you have a chest and back day, shoulders and arms, legs, and then you repeat that 3-day cycle. Quick outline for today. I'm going to be giving you a full 6 days per week hypertrophy program that's science-based and built on Arnold's split. Then we'll touch on the layout of the program throughout the week. And lastly, we'll talk about pros and cons of Arnold's split. If you've been getting value from my channel, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. First of all, this 6 days per week program is designed for someone whose primary goal is hypertrophy and who is at least intermediate. That is, you've been training seriously for at least 1 or 2 years. If you're a beginner, I would recommend starting off with a lower volume program. And I do have a playlist with beginner low volume programs. All right, let's do our program walkthrough. So this split is based off of 6 days per week. We've got chest and back day number 1, shoulders and arms day number 1, leg day number 1, chest and back day number 2, shoulders and arms day number 2, and leg day number 2. You've got your exercises here, the number of sets, and the number of reps. Down here, I've laid out the number of total sets per workout, so you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Lastly, down here, we've got our different muscle group weekly set volumes. So we've got quads, glutes and hamstrings, which I count together for convenience, chest, back, side delts, biceps, triceps, and calves. And then you've got the total number of sets per week. Counting your weekly set volumes for different muscle groups is a really good practice to get into the habit of, because it helps to guide you in terms of making adjustments to your program for optimal progress. Each muscle group is going to have its own optimal number of sets. Okay, let's start off with our first chest and back day. We'll kick things off with a barbell bench press for the chest, 4 sets of 5 to 8. Then we've got barbell rows for the back, 4 sets of 6 to 10. Then cable flies for the chest again, 3 sets of 10 to 15. And then we've got some more back work, lat pull downs, 3 sets of 8 to 12, and cable rows, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Lastly, we'll fit in some upright rows, which I actually count for side delts, but we'll put it on back days as a sneaky way to get in some more frequency for your side delts. 4 sets of 8 to 12. You'll notice here that I like to alternate my push and pull movements. Some people will like to get all of the work for one muscle group done first before moving on to the next muscle group. This is somewhat personal preference, but if you order it like this, it lends itself really well to antagonist supersets. So depending on what exercises you end up substituting mine with, chest and back days can be really convenient for doing chest and back supersets. Okay, let's go on to our first shoulders and arms day. Starting off, we've got barbell overhead press for the shoulders, 4 sets of 5 to 8. Then we've got easy bar curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 6 to 10. Which you can superset with easy bar skull crushers for the triceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Then we've got incline curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 8 to 12, and dumbbell lateral raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Lastly, we'll finish off with a cable superset. So we've got cable press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12, and cable lateral raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Moving on to our first leg day, we're going to start off with squats for the quads, 3 sets of 5 to 8. Then we've got Romanian deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After this, we've got a superset on the leg press machine. So leg presses for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12, which you can alternate with leg press calf raises, 6 sets of 8 to 12. The leg press machine actually works really well for calf raises and allows for heavy progressive overload. And it's an easy way to sneak in some calf volume on your leg days. Then we've got leg extensions again for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12, which you can superset with seated leg curls for the hamstrings, 3 sets of 6 to 10. You'll see that I like to start off my workouts with the heaviest compound free weight movements first. These movements are usually the most taxing, and I like to hit them when you're fresh so you can really get the most out of them. This will also work well with strength programming if you decide to use it. Going on to our second chest and back day. We start off with incline dumbbell bench presses for the chest, 4 sets of 6 to 10. Then we've got weighted chin-ups for the back, 4 sets of 6 to 10, and machine bench press for the chest, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Then we've got single arm dumbbell rows for the back, 3 sets of 8 to 12, and then lat pull downs again for the back, 3 sets of 12 to 20. We finish off the workout with some more upright rows, 4 sets of 10 to 15. Moving on to our second shoulders and arms day, we start off with close grip bench press for the triceps, which I also count for chest, 4 sets of 6 to 10. Then we've got hammer curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 6 to 10, and then cable press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Then we've got preacher curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 10 to 15, and then some side delt work. So dumbbell lateral raises, 3 sets of 10 to 15, and cable lateral raises, 3 sets of 12 to 20. Lastly, I've thrown some face pulls in here, which will hit your rear delts, but are also good for rotator cuff work, which will help to prevent shoulder injuries. Let's go on to our second leg day. So we start off with deadlifts for the hamstrings and glutes, 3 sets of 5 to 8. And then we've got front squats for the quads, 3 sets of 6 to 10. I personally like having a leg day starting off with a squat movement and then your other leg day starting off with a deadlift type movement. I like this because it gives a bit of priority to your deadlift, but some people would rather squat first on both days. Then we've got lunges, which I count for glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Then we've got a superset coming up, so leg extensions for the quads, 3 sets of 12 to 15, and lying leg curls for the hamstrings, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Lastly, we've got machine calf raises for the calves, 6 sets of 10 to 15. A couple things I want to note here. You'll see that on our day 2 workouts, I have biased our rep ranges more towards the higher rep ranges. This is my version of DUP, or daily undulating periodization, where you have sort of a heavy light day setup. This might help for fatigue distribution, strength development, and also helps to break up the monotony. You'll see that I like to program my bigger compound movements in the lower rep ranges and put those earlier in the workout. You'll also notice that I've tried to spread out my axial loading. Squats and deadlifts are going to be your main culprits for producing a lot of fatigue through axial loading. And this can interfere with some heavy back movements that also produce a lot of axial loading, like barbell rows. So you'll see that I've placed my barbell rows on your chest and back day, which will be away from your leg days. You'll also see that our shoulders and arms days have a few more sets than our other days. This is because your biceps, triceps, and side delts are relatively small muscle groups and don't generate a lot of fatigue. So you can handle more sets on those days. Okay, let's touch on the layout of the program throughout the week. I like to order the days as chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, and then chest, back, shoulders, arms, and legs again, and rest. Having the shoulders and arms day gives you a nice buffer between back and leg training. The only problem is at this point in the middle of the week, where you have leg training and then back training coming after that. For some people, they might find that their back training is affected by a tough leg day the day before. You'll see that we try to get around this in the program by putting our heaviest back movement on the first chest back day and putting our heavy leg movements that involve a lot of your back, like deadlifts, on our second leg day. That way, those movements don't end up clashing in the middle of the week. The other thing is I like having your chest and back day coming before shoulders and arms. This is because your chest and your back movements use your biceps and triceps to a high degree. And if you put a shoulders and arms day the day before your chest and back day, your chest and back training might be affected by having sore arms. This program is best suited for 6 days a week training to make sure that you get that twice per week frequency for each muscle group, which is what I currently recommend. If you start having more rest days and letting the split run over more than a week, then I would suggest going to a split that uses fewer days in the week and maintains that twice per week frequency. Okay, so now that we've covered the program, let's talk about the pros and cons of Arnold's split. I actually think that this split is superior to push-pull legs in a few ways. Let's talk about how. The thing I really like about this split is that it allows you to train your arms and your shoulders when they're fresh. Your biceps and triceps are usually fatigued by the end of the workout when you get to them after chest and back training. Your shoulders are also a lower priority in a lot of programs like push-pull legs and upper lower, and may be fatigued by the time you get to them by the end of the workout. So this program is really nice because it gives attention to your shoulders and arms, which are often lagging for a lot of natural bodybuilders. The other thing here is that you get a high frequency for your small muscle groups like your biceps, triceps, and side delts. Your biceps and triceps naturally get trained a bit on your chest and back days as secondary muscle groups in your pressing and pulling movements. So as I've laid it out in this program, your biceps, triceps, and side delts are getting trained 4 times per week, which I think is advantageous for these small muscle groups, which often do well with higher frequencies. The other advantage of this 6-day Arnold split is that you give priority to accessory pressing movements. Often in common splits like upper lower or push-pull legs, your accessory pushing movements like overhead press or close grip bench press come after your main horizontal pressing movements, and your performance on them won't be as great as if you put them first in a workout. So having a dedicated shoulders and arms day means you can really put some focus on these movements. The last pro here is that having a chest and back day and shoulders and arms day works really well for antagonist supersets. That is, you can alternate chest and back movements or bicep and tricep movements easily. These are a great way to save time in the gym without compromising training performance and volume. Okay, now let's talk about cons of the Arnold split. And here the main one is that you're going to have suboptimal fatigue distribution. The problem with having a dedicated shoulders and arms day is that those small muscle groups don't generate a lot of fatigue compared to, say, leg days. So your leg days are going to be significantly harder than your shoulders and arms days. You'll see that I've tried to even things out a bit by having more sets overall on your shoulders and arms day compared to leg day. And some people might actually like the idea of getting a hard day over with and then having an easier day to look forward to. But usually you do want to spread out your fatigue as much as possible throughout the week. Heads up that I will be sharing the full program in an Excel file in my Facebook group. So go join the Facebook group. There will be a link in the description below, and you can download the program for free. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and leave me a comment below. I'm really good about answering every single one of my comments, so you'll definitely hear back from me. In particular, have you ever tried Arnold Split? How was your experience? Let me know. If you want to take your knowledge to the next level, check out my affiliate link for MASS, or monthly applications in strength sport, in the description. MASS is an expert research review done by top scientists in the field of bodybuilding and strength sport. Every month, they put out concise articles, audio files, and videos covering the latest and best research. There aren't many sources of information that I actually recommend, but this is one of them. So go check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.